Hey guys, it's Nate with Sauce Ain't the Boss here again, and today is day number 33 of quitting drinking alcohol. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, I mentioned I had gotten a bug, some kind of illness, and was in bed all day yesterday just feeling like crap. Well, today around noon, my fever finally broke, so I was able to go out and work on my Toyota Camry. I've been changing the head gasket on, and got the head pulled off the block and then measured the bottom of the head with a straight edge and a thickness gauge and found out that the head's warped. So I'm gonna have to send that down to a machine shop, to have that resurfaced. And if it's warped too bad, they won't be able to resurface it. I'll have to buy a whole new head or a remanufactured one. So we'll see what happens there. But that was kind of the topic of yesterday's video. When it rains, it pours. Sometimes you get all these bad things happening, one after another. And not that these things are life altering or anything that are happening to me, but just, a little bit of bad news and bad news. I mentioned my vacation got canceled because of the Rum Creek fire closing down the river for the river permits that we got to float the Lower Rogue and stuff like that going on. And then I got sick and just these different things. And but I'd much rather deal with these things as a non-drinker now, and I'm finding that I'm dealing with them so much better. One of the huge things I've noticed is that my hormones must have really stabilized. I read somewhere one time that drinking red wine in particular really raises your estrogen levels, and I drank a ton of red wine. And I think alcohol does in general, if I'm not mistaken, but red wine in particular. And I know I was dealing with a lot of things just really emotional and wacky, and stuff like that sometimes. And I'm just a lot more even keel and calm now, and I don't get as rattled with stuff. So, if you're thinking about drinking or in the beginning process, just know that your emotions and your attitude and stuff like that's going to get so much better the further you get into this. I've been a month now, roughly, and it's just I'm just feeling so much more just even keel. So that's a huge positive, for quitting drinking. And as I was laying in bed, sick all day yesterday, it kind of made me think about the topic of today's video, which is, what do you want out of life? Do you want to be a drinker that just sits in the same chair every night, or sits on the same bar stool at a pub or a bar, drinking the same drinks over and over and over again? I mean, to me, that just sounds like a boring life. And I know from experience that was my life, and I was thinking about how I was never dedicating 100% to anything in my life really other than drinking. How can you be 100% at any of the other things you're doing when you are drinking alcohol? You're dealing with, number one, spending all the time drinking alcohol, and then spending all the time and energy dealing with the effects of alcohol, whether it's you had bad sleep, you're hungover, and just not feeling 100%. So you're not going to give 100% at your job, to your family, to your hobbies, your passions in life, And I hate to say it, but when you're a drinker, it seems like your only passion in life ends up being the drinking. And again, I'm just saying that from my own personal experience. So, ask yourself what you want out of life, and can drinking even be a part of that? And some of you may say, well, I'm just going to cut back on my drinking and I'm going to moderate. And I'm here to tell you, I mean, I've tried that 100 times or more, and I always went back to drinking the levels I was prior to the moderating, sometimes worse. And it's because, why are you drinking in the first place? Is it because you love the taste of it? I highly doubt that. It's probably because you like the effects. You like the feeling of the numbness and getting ripped. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I didn't drink it for the taste. I drank it because I wanted to get anesthetized and numb to things and stuff like that. And so if you're trying to moderate, is one going to do it for you? Two, three? And then what happens when your tolerance starts to go up? You need 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. I mean, and you're going to be right back in the same boat. Because if you were one of those drinkers that could just have one, you wouldn't be watching this probably in the first place. So something to think about, is moderating doesn't work. So I don't really think alcohol can be a part of your life if you want to be 100% and do other things that are great in life. And that could be being the best family member you can be, the best worker at your job, or best business owner, or the best at whatever your passions are in life, your hobbies and stuff like that. And So yeah, give it some thought, and do you want to continue to lead the boring life of a drinker, or do you want to have a much more rewarding life where you can learn to do so much more and be so much more? And for me, I've realized that I want to be one of those people that can fix anything and do anything and incapable of doing and fixing pretty much anything. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in today's society, it's starting to get to where skilled people that know how to do stuff are hard to find. And when you do find them, either they're booked out forever, or it's going to cost you an arm and a leg to have stuff done. And skilled workers and laborers are hard to come by anymore. And there's a lot of reasons behind that I won't get into of why that is. But so if you don't know how to do some of this stuff yourself, and you're trying to find people to do all this work for you, you're going to be spending a ton of money or waiting long periods of time just to find somebody to do it. And so one of the things for me that I've been focusing on now, just like changing this head gasket on my own vehicle, is learning how to do stuff. And there's a ton of YouTube videos out there showing you how to do different things. And so, even if you have to buy the repair manual for something or whatever. But for me, that's going to become kind of my hobby now that I'm really enjoying. And I just take my time. If I get bored of it, I walk away, come back to it later. And, it's really been kind of enjoyable, And so think about all the things that you can do now if you're not spending the time drinking, and how much better you're going to be at the things that matter to you in your life if you're not drinking. And so, yeah, that's the topic of today. What do you want out of life? And can alcohol be a part of that? And I'm going to say the answer is probably no. And just know, too, that after you get a month into this, I can already tell you that there's just something. I've heard it before, and I thought it was just cliche, but there is something about the month mark where you think about alcohol less. You've started doing so many more better things in your life, and it gets easier and easier just to say, forget that stuff, And so, yeah, that's the topic for today, guys. My voice is starting to go, so I better go. If you're liking these videos, give them a like, and remember to subscribe to the channel if you can. And yeah, so remember, guys, sauce ain't the boss. You are. You guys have a great day.